and gentlemen, and welcome to New Japan Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, Andre C, and to, I guess, the right on screen, I'm pointing to my left and left. It's my co-host, Melball. How you doing, Melball?
I'm doing amazing today, Andre. It might be cold outside, but it is not cold inside. We have got action heating up our televisions. How cliche was that?
Well, for me, it's heating up my laptop. So I know you watch yours on TV, but I watch it on my laptop
because I'm spoiled.
There you go. I'm doing all right. It's been a little bit of a day, but I'm doing okay. So I'm glad I'm here talking to you. That's the big plus. So.
To talk about some incredible wrestling.
Yes, so we are here to talk about night 3, 4, and 5 of the Super Juniors, and nights 2 and 3 of the World Tag League. So we have got a lot to talk about. So right before we get into it, I want to thank you to our sponsor, Rogue Energy. You can check the QR code where Mel's pointing to right now. Scan that QR code or go to rogueenergy.com. Use the promo code OLEPODS for 10% off your order, and they will hook you up with some great stuff. I know me and Melball have both enjoyed very much all the stuff we've gotten from them so far. And then if you're in the United States, you can actually get everything they get in cans now. So far, we can't get it in Canada, but hopefully soon they'll be able to start shipping that up to us. So please check them out. Use the code OLEPODS for 10% off your order. Thank you very much to Rogue Energy and to our partners at our local establishment. So.
I got the right corner that time.
So we want to get this underway. I forgot to bring the one screen up. It is time for the talk about the tag league. Now I got to bring my other screen up. That's blocking now. Boom. And we're going to talk about, like you said, the Super Junior Tag League from November 25th, 27th, and 28th, and the World Tag League from the 26th and 27th. I'm excited. Again, we had a great plethora of professional wrestling over those 4 nights. And I watched in 4 days. I think I watched 4 nights of New Japan, 2 nights of Stardom. I watched a little bit of AEW in there. Like I watched a lot of professional wrestling. I'm still trying to catch up on the Noah Tag League. It's just a giant mess of wrestling right now.
So many tag leagues all happening at once. But man, what a time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh, there's so much good stuff going on right now. Well, we're going to get into Super Junior night number 3, and we're going to kick it off with my pick on the November 25th show. It is, as I have dubbed them, the Knights of Time, Kevin Knight and Kushida taking on Leo and Yo from Chaos. Leo Rush, Yo. This was a banger, like just an absolute banger to kick a night off. Like, and you've been noticing Leo and Yo have had a couple main events so far, and now they're in the opening. Well, not the opening, because again there was some undercard matches, but the opening tag league match of the night, and it was just a great way to kick it off because like these two teams are absolutely phenomenal. Kevin Knight, his towering dropkick is just amazing. Kushida, again, the best thing about Kushida in this match is he's wrestling with Yo, who's Kushida left like when I think around when Yo was on excursion, so or just after he came back in the early days of Yo, so they haven't really had a much of a time to really work together and wrestle. So getting to see these two interact in this match was very, very appealing to me because you get the past/present of New Japan versus what is in the junior division and what is the future of the junior division in Yo and in Kevin Knight too and Leo Rush. But I'm just saying, like, it's those two like facing off is past versus future. I love seeing it. It's just the styles from all these guys is absolutely phenomenal. And I looked at it and it was the Kevin Knight when he was across from Leo Rush. Like Leo is the shortest person in this match. He's not that small of an individual, but in this match he is the smallest. And boy howdy, the difference between Kevin Knight and Leo Rush. I'm not going to go too low because I don't want to insult Leo Rush. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. But to see what Leo Rush did with Kevin Knight and how big and how they work so fluidly together, it's just as impressive. It's the style that all these like Knight's swan dive over, like he did a swan dive over top of Leo, like just straight jumping over Leo. Leo ducked a bit, but like it was still just straight up impressive. The hops on Kevin Knight, I can't I can't gush over it any more than I already have. Kushida with that hammerlock plex, it's a really really nice move. Like he was getting it up, and then was it Leo or is it? I think I can't remember who reversed it, but I think Leo reversed it, but then Kushida ended up hitting a rocket kick right after, and it's beautiful. And then the attitude on Yo, I gotta say I like it, but because it's not full heel, it's just a more of a like I don't like you were talking about it before. It's just a more of a like I don't care what you think about me, or I don't care how you feel. I'm just going to be as good as I can be, and that's kind of Leo Rush in a sense. He doesn't care how you feel about him because he knows he's that damn good, so he's just gonna do what he does. And I like that that feeling coming off with Yo too, in that it gives Yo, who was a very vanilla baby face, gives him a little bit of an edge, especially when you're going up against guys like Kushida and Kevin Knight, who are baby faces in their own right. So you have Yo kind of playing the heel side, but in that I'm not a bad guy feel. I really, really liked it. And it just overall, just the athleticism, the craziness in this match. Leo Rush is like when he's doing like hits the rope and just does a right turn into the next rope. It's just, and then when he's on the ground and spinning and coming up and doing these enziguris from the mat, like it's absolutely phenomenal. But in the end, Yo got as I call it, the kneecap brainbuster, or a suplex into an Ushigoroshi to Kevin Knight, and Leo Rush hit the final hour frog splash, gets the win. Again, huge. And again, you're pushing Yo and Leo Rush so much, and then by the end, when we get to the end of this, the point set is just crazy right now. So
yeah, this match was actually I've been really enjoying how they are starting off all of these tournaments. They start them off with these high energy, high octane matches that really sets the crowd up for the rest of the tournament. I do have to agree. At first, I was a little hesitant about the what I was calling a bad influence that Rush was having on Yo. But after seeing him a few times, I also agree. I do enjoy the kind of attitude change. I wouldn't say it's maybe not a change, maybe an adjustment. Where he's almost taking
an attitude adjustment.
Pun was not intended, but I'll take it. But yeah, Yo, you're absolutely right. He was very much a vanilla kind of guy. He's one of those guys who I think feeds better off of his partner. In a singles competition, if he doesn't have anybody to feed off of, he comes off as rather tasteless and bland. But with someone like Leo Rush, it's like the same way as I'd mentioned to you, I think privately, in that ELP and Ishimori. They kind of have the same kind of dynamic where ELP is that high energy, goofy, loud, obnoxious kind of guy. And Ishimori was kind of like Yo, very dominant but quiet. But with ELP teaming with Ishimori, we see this personality coming out more of Ishimori. It's the exact same thing with Yo and Leo Rush, and I'm not complaining about it.
No, again, absolutely. It's evolution for this guy, who I think from where he's been, he's the third member of Bishimon's 6-man team. He's not saying he's the unsuccessful, he's not the Marty Jannetty from his tag team, but Sho has gotten the more featured role since. So it's nice to see him evolve. And again, absolutely phenomenal match. That's why I'm picking this as my match of the night. Or my personal, like, if you're going to watch a match this night, watch this one. That's my pick, at least. So we move on to the next match of the evening, and that is Mel's pick. It is a team of wild hips, and that is Clark Connors and Taguchi taking on, as I have dubbed them. I've dubbed them another name, but I'm giving them a new name officially now, and they are the Sauce Hearts. It is El Lindaman and Alex Zayne, and I love this team.
Hey, got little devil horns on that too.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. Never did I ever think that I would have a Taguchi in something that I really enjoyed, but this match was so much fun from start to finish. It had those comedic undertones, but these four guys are so good at storytelling in the ring that they put on not only an incredible wrestling match, but an entire performance all together. This was one of my favorite matches because of a spot that we will get to when I get there. We're going to start at the beginning here. Connors and Lindaman had a phenomenal opening kind of spot and sequence where they were wrestling a very similar amateur style that I was really, really enjoying. I felt it really showcased.
Oh, you're gonna skip the pre-match?
I'm gonna skip the beer. I mean, you can talk about it if you want to, though. Go for it.
Absolutely phenomenal. Like the fact that Clark Connors had the support arrow and he chugs it, and Taguchi pulls out the old gimmick. He pulls out the yellow card and saying he's giving him the yellow card. And Clark Connors looks like, oh my God, what? No, he didn't want it. And then Taguchi threatened to give him a red card if he drank any more of the beer. So he put it away. But I absolutely thought that was just great comedy before the match, and it worked. Like a little happy and get you going, right? So
absolutely. But yeah, the butt whip that I think that we have taken to call it with Clark Connors and Ryusuke Taguchi there, where Connors, whips Taguchi into his opponents, throwing his butt. Sometimes they'll switch it up, and Taguchi will throw Clark Connors' butt around. Yeah. I mean, butt in the face for everybody. We don't care. Everybody's included
butt whips
here.
All around. Butt whips all around.
Butt whips all around. I love it. And Taguchi pulling off his I can't stand it, but I find it funny. The Brazilian lap dance in that corner.
I literally have it written down like that since you told me
that. This is where the biting started again. I don't mind the arm biting. The arm biting, it makes sense. You can deal with something like that. Mr. Zayne, why are you munching on Taguchi's butt? You do not know where that thing has been. And don't trust him if you ask him and he tells you. Goodness. Hope that thing was clean. Then there was a thrust kick into a German suplex from Zayne and Lindaman on Taguchi, but they couldn't keep Taguchi down. Taguchi managing to power out of that German, which has been very helpful for Lindaman in the past. Then the favorite part of the match for me was when Mr. Connors, he did exactly for the guys out there wanting to know how to get yourself a lady. This is what you do. You find yourself a bag of tacos and you lead her. This is the way to a woman's heart. It's not flowers. It's food. It's the wrong
tacos.
Specifically tacos. So Clark Connors again luring Alex Zayne, because Alex Zayne, he's man after my own heart. He loves his tacos. Lured to the outside, sitting there munching down on a little taco outside there, while poor Lindaman is just getting his day wrecked. But goodness, it was like Popeye got his spinach and he da-da-da-da-da-da. Zayne hits the ring, saves Lindaman, and then put Connors in the face, Connors' face into Taguchi's butt for Lindaman's problems there. Zayne pinning Connors for the win on this one. This was so much fun. I had so much fun with this match. Andre, what do you think?
I love the team of Alex Zayne and Lindaman. Again, before this tournament, when we were doing the preview, I wasn't sure about these guys because again, I haven't really seen them together because I know they did a little bit of stuff together in Glee, but I had never seen it. So it was very, and they've captured my heart from the first show. It's just they are so much fun in how they do everything. It's just nothing. Everything they do puts a smile on your face, and the fact that all his moves are after things from Taco Bell, and that the finish there was a taco driver, just so you're aware. That finish with the taco driver. Absolutely phenomenal match. I absolutely love it. Yeah, you got through everything that I had written down here. So yeah, it just absolutely
for once I did it.
Yeah. So going forward for the next couple of matches on this show, I'm just going to read. I'm going to read the match, give you the ending, and then we're going to clip on because we are going through 25 total matches. We are highlighting 8 of them. So I'm going to quickly go, just give the result, move on to the next one. Mel won't be giving too much unless there's something specific you really want to talk about in that match.
For sure.
moving on to the next one, it is the team of Flying Tiger, of Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask, taking on from Suzuki Gun, Douki, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. The finish of this match was Robbie Eagles got the roll up on Kanemaru with what I really believe is the Itabashi from Sayada's move, the Itabashi. It really looked very, very similar, and he got the win there. So yeah, I recognize the fan. It looked very much like the Itabashi. So
you're always better at the names than I am.
I love my Sayada, so I'm going to remember her pin finish. The next match of the evening was actually a Battle of the Bullet Club. You have the sub team, the subgroup from House of Torture, Dick Togo and Show taking on Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Absolutely phenomenal match. This is my runner-up for the night. But in the end, Bay hit the ultimate finesser to Togo, and Ace hit the fold, and they got the win to stay undefeated in this tournament. That's 3 straight wins for Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Absolutely. Anything on that one, Mel?
So I don't have anything to say on the match per se, but I have an interesting question to bring up to you about this. Or sorry, an interesting factoid. It's interesting in the way that Yujiro and Evil, and then subsequently Sho and Togo, have been tremendously and mercifully negatively impacting each other throughout this entire tournament, having their respective teams sitting at nothing so far.
Maybe cheating isn't the way to go.
We're not going to complain about this. It's just worth noting that they have been a tremendous detriment instead of helpful to each other throughout this tournament.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. So yeah. And then the main event of night 3 of Super Juniors on November 25th, it was the team from LIJ, Teton and Bushi, taking on from the United Empire, the team of Catch-22, Francesco, Akira, and TJP. Again, absolutely one of my favorite tag teams is TJP and Francesco, Akira. I absolutely love these guys, and they are having a hell of a tournament. But this is when the Teton and Bushi did something they haven't been able to do, and that is pin the champions. The fact that Teton got the suicide dive to TJP, then Akira half and half Bushi, but Bushi ends up getting the MX onto Akira, and then Teton hit the stomp after hitting the MX, and they picked up the win, a huge win to pin the tag team champions. Again, if you don't win this tournament, you hold a win over the champs. That's saying something. That's a potential tag title match before Wrestle Kingdom, possibly on the road to Tokyo Dome tour. You never know.
Let's hope so. Let us hope so.
And quick point update after the third night. Chris Bay and Ace Austin alone on top with 6 points. Then you got Teton and Bushi, Catch-22, Lindaman and Alex Zayne. You have Flying Tiger and Leo Rush and Yo all with 4 points. Then you have Kevin Knight and Kushida and Wild Hips with 2, and House of Torture and Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru with 0 points. I can breathe. Okay, and then we are going to move on to the November 26th show that features the World Tag League on the heavyweight side of it all. And we're starting out with the Mel's pick, and it is the team from the LA Dojo, Gabriel Kidd and Alice Coughlin, taking on from Los Ingobernables de Japón. It is Sanada and Tetsuya Naito.
Excellent. Thank you for the introduction. That gave me the time I needed to find the notes. This was a fun match. I mean, Naito he's always fun. He's always that, pardon the language, he's a mind fuck guy. He likes to come in and mess with people in their heads in the ring. And Gabe Kidd was really a victim of that at the beginning of this, really messing with Naito, really picking at him. It was like he almost was doing it just to get that rise out of him, but wasn't quite ready for the result of that muck around. It was definitely the personification of F around and find out. And that's what Gabe Kidd did. Naito luring him in with a fist bump just right at the beginning, and then just taking him down after that point. The impression, though, that Gabe Kidd did of Naito, his pose in the middle of the ring, I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy.
What are you talking about? It was better than Naito's. Come on, no, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking.
No.
I absolutely loved it though.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I know he was absolutely completely over exaggerating everything about it to make a mockery of Naito. But when he first did it, I was like, bruh. We won't say on screen what I really thought when I first saw that. Yeah, the opening with Sanada and Gabe Kidd, or sorry, with Naito and Gabe Kidd was a lot of fun. Coughlin and Sanada, very serious. They changed the pace of the match. If Gabe Kidd and Naito were like the comedic relief, Coughlin and Sanada were the serious part of the play.
Very much so.
Coughlin, I don't think I've actually seen him smile this entire tournament. Now that I'm thinking about it, he really is a machine.
He's a cyborg,
but mind you, Sanada doesn't smile either, so we'll leave that there. I also noted Coughlin seems to always be in a constant state of flexing. Like his lats, his chest, his shoulders, everything seems to be out, and I'm not complaining about it. I quite like it. What I really enjoyed was him coming out there and Sanada applauding him. Watching him pose and be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, you're sure. Getting the crowd to clap along and everything. I really, really enjoyed that because it's Sanada finally playing those same kind of mind games that he's learned from his illustrious leader. There was like a row your boat kind of moment between Coughlin and Naito on the ropes to break up the figure four.
Well, that was just flat out impressive from Coughlin because he got him in that modified figure four, and he just like lifts himself up and just like slides himself across the ring. Like there was no
of this man is
incredible. There was no struggle. There was no like I'm crawling. He's like, nope, I'm going to the ropes, and he just grabbed it. Like it was impressive.
Of course, I have to shout out Sanada's Paradise Lock. It is my favorite submission in professional wrestling. Kid, again, I want to say that he's this wild kind of card in this tournament. He's like that. He adds his own little piece of flair, no pun intended on that one, to all of his moves that he does. And it's just that little thing of his that makes it his, whether it's a laugh, whether it's a face, whether it's how he moves or what he moves into. I really enjoy how he has evolved from graduating as a young lion. There was an interesting crossbody Coughlin did, where he looked like he almost like hovered for a split second going into it. I think he was hitting on Naito in the corner.
Yeah.
But the German deadlift was freaking amazing. The double team, again, I can't talk highly enough about the double team between Naito and Sanada. There's just too many moves that they do to adequately go through it, and we don't have the time. But it is so seamless. It is so flawless. But Coughlin and Kidd seem just as seamless and flawless, and I'm going to assume that's because of the training history that they have together.
I think so.
It really, really worked well for them. In the end, Naito pinning Coughlin after a Destino.
Yeah.
And it was a long one. It took him a while to capitalize on that pin. I nearly died calling that Destino. Andre, what did you think?
Again, great opener. Actually, this was one of the couple matches I had shortlisted, but the match I picked was always kind of my number one. But I had this match shortlisted for if you had picked my number one, I was going to go with this one. But absolutely phenomenal match from both these teams, Naito and Sanada. It's just that mind meld that they have, and then Gabe Kidd and Coughlin, they have close to that, like because again they trained together for a long time in the LA dojo. So. Yeah, is there anything else, Mel, on this one?
No, that's all for this one.
Perfect. So I'm going to move on to my pick of the evening, and that is one of my favorite tag teams of all time, TMDK, taking on two men from one of my favorite factions currently in professional wrestling. It's Team Decay taking on the Great Okan and Aaron Henare. Absolutely phenomenal. This is I expected great from these two teams. Like Henare and Khan, yes, they're not quite the flowing tag team yet, but they have that familiarity. They're really good. And TMDK, I've been watching them. Like I got to see a little bit of their stuff in Noah way back when, just the odd match here and there. I was a big fan. I saw some of the stuff that they did when they came over and did a little bit in New Japan. Then I was a huge fan of them in their NXT run, like as TM61. Again, incredibly big fan of this team. When they reunited earlier this year for the Strong Openweight Tag Tournament, and then were announced to come over here, because this was not the TMDK team I thought we'd be getting. I thought we'd be getting Big Teats and Jonah in this. I am at this them in this tournament makes me so happy because I love this team. And like just this match overall, just so wonderful. Like Haste, his in-ring is top notch. Like you have this like beautiful, like really early a snapmare, and then it just hops up, and just the form of his drop kick, to drop kick Henare in the C position, just the form looks so good. And then Nichols in with just some of the great stuff he does. It's their timing is so well, but again, that's years and years of working together, and there's no rust from not tagging together for the last couple of years, and it's just they're absolutely phenomenal. Khan doing the sit on the head in the corner, I think it was to Haste, and I'm just like, no, get off his head. It's usually I'm like, yeah, keep sitting on his head. This is one of the times I'm like, no, stop sitting on him. I don't want you to do that, because like it's just I'm having so much conflicting feelings watching this match, because I love both these teams. Nichols reverses a German suplex into this great DDT on Henare, and then hit like a sliding clothesline for a 2 there. Just phenomenal. Henare with the, as I call it, because it's very similar to Sheamus's Beats Bottom, where he's got him on the ropes and he's smashing him in the chest.
Yeah.
And he hit the Haste, and Haste falls out. So Khan goes and chokes him like on the outside and just beats on him, and before sending him back into Henare, who gets a pin. But it's that cohesion from UE that they have, even though they haven't been straight up a tag team for a while. They've been working together for so long, right? Because again, Khan was the first person to join Ospreay, and then it was Henare. They've been working together for a while as a unit. So as a unit, come on. But yeah, I really love this match. Khan, I'm calling them now, his Mongolian chops, I'm calling them the goat chops, because it's when he does the come down, it's like that yell. It sounds like it sounds like a goat screaming, and it's not a negative. I'm not saying it as a negative, because it's so him. It is so Khan to do it like that. So I'm calling him. I'm going to call him the Mongolian goat chops, because it's that scream that goes with it, right? And he does that to Nichols, but Nichols like catches the third time he's coming down. Nichols catches it and is like holding it, and it's that impressiveness just to see, like him just like being able to fight off the chops. I really loved it. That Euro uppercut that Haste will do, and then Nichols picks up the backdrop, and then they hit the backdrop. Sorry, excuse me, the backdrop cutter combo. I love it. Again, great simple move. TMDK towards the end of the match went for the Thunder Valley, but Henare in the reverse coming in and hit Haste with the Rampage. And then in the end, they got the Fireman's Carry TKO into a cutter, and Khan got the win. And slightly disappointed to see TMDK lose, because I'm such a big fan of them. But I'm also happy to see UE win, because I absolutely love this match.
I think I could be wrong about this. I thought I heard on the Japanese commentary that they called the finish the Imperial Drop, but I could be wrong about that. That's just what I heard.
Well, it is. I'm pretty sure that is a move from Cobb and Khan. So it might be the Imperial Drop. I wasn't really paying attention when he said it. So yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to say about this, more ask about this, Okan was biting in this one too. What is with the nom on this tour, you guys? I guess everybody getting fed enough.
Everybody's seasoning themselves. It must be. It's something like that.
What are you guys putting in the bathwater over there? You're not supposed to make faux soup with everyone. Come on.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very much. There's a lot of fighting going on with Zayne and Lindaman. With Zayne and Lindaman, I expect it now. It's become part of who they are. But like, I didn't expect it from Khan. So yeah,
from Khan, no.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the next match of the evening, and again, another battle of the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. It's Battle of the Bullet Club. You got House Torture, Yujiro, Takahashi, and Evil. What?
Battle
Club. You should taking on actually becoming one of my more favorite tag teams, the Generals Jewel, Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale. Again, we have our love for Bad Luck Fale. He is our life coach. He is the man who we follow on a daily basis, listening to all his inspirational talks. But yeah, and then Chase Owens, I have become a very huge fan of. This last year and a half has really turned himself into just this incredible professional wrestler. He was already, trust me, but he just really stepping up and showing. End of the match though, it is Togo's choking Fale, and then Yujiro comes in and tries to use the stick but Chase ends up stopping it, and he hit Yujiro with the stick, and then he hits Evil in the crotch with the stick. With the ref's back is turned, and knocking him out of the ring, and Fale hit the grenade on Yujiro and gets the win. After the match, Togo is actually complaining to the ref that Evil got low blowed. Talk about bull crap right there. Talk about bull crap right there. But yeah, and then Chase is just in the ring laughing at him as he's complaining. Chase is just laughing at him, and then as they got out of the ring, they picked up the 6-man tag team titles and looked at them and just went, and tossed them back into the ring. I don't know if that means they don't care about them, or is like, maybe that's a direction. Maybe you get General Jewel and they find a partner and they take on House of Torture for the 6-man at Wrestle Kingdom. I would not be against that one.
But who would they pick? Like, who would be available? Because Bay and Austin will most likely be
Tony Kozina. Tony Kozina. Bring in Tony Kozina.
Oh, Coach. I'm like,
please, God, Tony. I want to see him in New Japan. He was on the New Japan Tamashi show. I want to see him in New Japan proper. Please bring in Tony Kozina.
Who is that person that Fale just picked up in Australia?
I don't know the guy's name. It could be him. You never know.
Be him. He might. Yeah. He might not be the size requirement. I don't know. He might be too big. He might be too little. Well,
in my heart, I want it to be. In my heart, I want Tony Kozina. So that's in my heart. That's who I want. But again, that's from watching him multiple times here in Edmonton on CWE tours. So again, that's a personal feeling, right? Next match of the evening was Team Bebop, Toru Yano, and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Suzuki Guns. Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki, absolutely phenomenal. Like just the stare-offs with this team. Archer and Suzuki doing squats. Like just so, or actually, Suzuki doing the squats. I don't think Archer did them, but there was humor. But then there was just hardcore beating the crap out of each other. It's great technical from Suzuki and Tanahashi when they were in there. Watching Tanahashi dragon screw Minoru Suzuki made me think back to a few years ago when they were fighting over the Intercontinental title, and Suzuki was dragon screwing the crap out of Hiroshi Tanahashi's leg. Like just absolutely phenomenal match. But in the end, Suzuki and Archer, Archer gets the avalanche, puts him on the corner, puts him in the corner, and then hits the blackout to get the win. And that's a big win for Suzuki Gun, beating Tanahashi, especially, but Tanahashi and Yano. And big win for Suzuki Gun. After the ref, Suzuki and Archer beat up Young Boys, as they do. That's what they do, right? And then actually Suzuki teased Gotch pile driving the ref.
He did. He really did. Reffing in NJPW, it is a as much of a life or death situation.
When Suzuki Gun's there or when House of Torture's there, if you're a ref, you got to worry.
Yeah, I mean, if House of Torture is there, if you are anything, you need to worry at ringside. My favorite part of this match, actually, when you were mentioning the deep squats, was Yano agreeing to take the first spot, and Suzuki just walking right up to him and essentially saying, "Open your mouth. Here comes Mr. Hanky." Um, that was hilarious for me to watch Yano sword fighting with Minoru Suzuki's privates. Very, very intense match. I really, really enjoyed this match. I'm a big fan of Archer. I felt this was a great showcase for him. Yano really did get beat the heck up in this match, didn't he? Yeah. So yeah. Other than that, I got nothing else to say about this one. This one was fun.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong thing, and now I lost my clicker. There we go. And we're going to move on to the main event of the evening. The team of Bishimons, Yoshi-Hashi, Hiroki Goto taking on, again, one of my favorite faction, Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis from United Empire. Again, I love these guys. Like, just the athleticism in this match from all these men is just absolutely phenomenal. The end of the match, Bishimon go for the Shoto, but Goto actually gets tossed and kicked out of the ring, and then Aussie Open hit the sandwich clotheslines and hit Coriolis on Yoshi-Hashi for the win. Again, absolutely phenomenal match. Just some of the great stuff from both these teams. Like Ushigoroshi, like it's just a classically great move. Simple as that. I want to highlight a couple things after the match. Fletcher said they waited a long time to get into the tag league, and they belong here in the main event, winning in the main event. They wiped the floor with Bishimon, and no one can stop them. They are Aussie Open, they are the Empire, and they run the world. Again, not exactly what they said, but again, I got the best lines in there. Gideon says, "Bring your best game when you step in, because they are the best in the world." And he called them. I didn't know this. Dunkzilla. Mark Davis, is that what I think he called him?
I believe that's his Instagram tag.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And when he said Dunkzilla, I was just like, that is awesome. And then the Aussie Arrow, Kyle Fletcher. Again, I absolutely loved it. And I read this online. Mark Davis is 3 years younger than me. I was like, it kind of blew my mind. I thought he was older. I thought he was closer to 40. He's only 32, according to Wikipedia. Wikipedia could be wrong, but he's 32. I'm like, shit, I'm 35, and I look at this, and I look at Mark Davis, and I'm like, holy crap. That's goals. That's goals for me, man, is to look like Mark Davis. Man, like,
hey, there you go.
Yeah, that's goals.
Why the heck not? What a handsome man. The only two things I have to say about this is Aussie Open very assertive in this match, as they said in their promo at the end. They're very, very dominant, very assertive. They really did wipe the floor with last year's winners. A little scary there. The second thing is I think that G1 Yoshi-Hashi is still around. He might not be winning.
I think that's just Yoshi-Hashi. I think that's just the new Yoshi-Hashi. And I did confirm he is wearing shorts. They aren't.
I was going to say I saw that also. Yeah, it matches Goto perfectly.
So quickly,
I like it.
So quickly before we move on to the next night, Aussie Open, Lance Archer, Minoru Suzuki, Sanada, and Naito all tied for 4 points after the second night. Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols, TMDK, Generals Jules, Chase Owens, and Balak Fale, Bishimon, Aaron Henare, and the Great Okan, all with 2 points. And then Team Bebop, Yujiro, and Evil, and Gabriel Kidnapped Coughlin, all with 0 points after the second night. Again, only 2 nights in, and we only going to get one more night on this when we're covering, and that is the following night for November 27th, which was a supersized tag league show because it involved both of the tag leagues, and you had the Super Junior Tag League and the World Tag League in one night, 10 matches. But the best thing they did not do any undercard matches. It was just straight up 10 matches. And some of these were a good bit shorter. And one of them was very short and very surprising to me. So we're going to get into it. And on November 27th, we're going to start out with Kevin Knight and Kushida, the men who seem to be the opening junior tag league match. And I am okay with them being the openers. Taking on Los Gobernobes, Titan and Bushi. Absolutely fire match. He's great. Again, the athleticism from all these men working together and seeing a guy that as big as Kevin Knight doing the stuff he did with Bushi and Titan. Absolutely amazing. In the end, Titan and Bushi hit the assisted rope walk, drop kick, and Bushi ends up suiciding Kushida on the outside. Titan hits a tornado DDT on Knight, and LIJ hit the MX and double stomp combo and get the win. Again, absolutely phenomenal match.
The only few things that I had about this match was Bushi and Titan very aggressive coming into this match. Kevin Knight crazy powerful, and I felt that this was a great showcase for both teams.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And Kevin Knight's the kind of guy who he is classified as a junior heavyweight now, but I think just a little bit of bulk, he is a heavyweight. He could easily be a heavyweight and still and still have the athleticism that he currently has. It's absolutely bonkers, the style. And then move on to the World Tag League. First of the World Tag League matches, Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin from the LA Dojo taking on United Empires, Aaron Henare and the Great Okan. In the end, big boot by Great Okan to Gabriel Kidd, and Henare hit the Streets of Rage and gets the win. Again, great showing from both teams. Again, the cohesion and how good the pure ability of Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd. So again, Gabriel Kidd has had a long career, I think, and I'm pretty sure Coughlin had a career before the dojo too. Again, majority of wrestlers going into the dojo have had a career beforehand, or at least the LA dojo had a career beforehand. But both absolutely phenomenal. And then Khan and Henare, again, they just flow better and better together every time they wrestle. It 3 matches in, they show, even though they weren't the tag team before, they are cohesive. They are like interlocked. They know each other.
Yeah. The only thing that I wanted to say about this one is that I think I figured out Gabriel Kidd's shorts. Sometimes they're just plain black. Sometimes they've got some splash of color on him. When he has the red and white stripe on there, I'm sure it means something completely different. Like I'm pretty sure it's actually his favorite soccer team from back home. But I think they're his sassy pants. When he has the red and white stripe on, he's just so sassy. Yeah, he was very. I don't know if you got the same thing, but he was very like.
He very much was. I will agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain those are his sassy pants. That's going to be a tell for us, I think, at Wrestle Kingdom if he's there. Just gonna point that out there. But yeah, I agree. This match was incredible. I have a few notes on it, but we're just gonna leave it at the sassy pants and the chain wrestling at the beginning by Kidd and Okan. Perfection.
Yeah, and so we're gonna move on from there to the next Super Junior Tag League. It is the team Sauce Hearts, Lindaman, Alex Zayne taking on House of Tortures, Dick Togo, and Show. Again, it's a lot of the cheating, but this was actually. This is a match I really actually quite enjoyed from House of Torture. Yes, the cheating was there, but this was actually a really good. I could see a lot of Togo's really good wrestling. He's showing why that's good. He was so good. He is still so good. It's just the cheating crap. But in the end, Togo goes for a victory roll, but gets a 2, and then a crucifix for a 2, and it goes from the crossface. But Lindaman gets out of it and hits the bridging German suplex and gets the win again. I think it was they attacked him on the entranceway, and was this one where Zayne got laid out in a pile driver by, I think it was Show or was it Togo? I can't remember. And literally the first few minutes of the match, Zayne's just laying at the top. You can see him in the background on the hard camera, just like laid out, just on the stage, and I'm just like. And just watching Lindaman do what he did for those first few minutes by himself was absolutely phenomenal. I want to point one spot out. The Go-Go Plata from Show, when he hit that submission, that choke submission he got, which is Undertaker used it for years, called it Hell's Gate. But that Go-Go Plata looked absolutely perfect. Just the application of it was simply phenomenal.
I have to agree. The only 2 things that I wanted to mention, and this one was Show had some new gear in this one with some red accents on it that I thought were very, very nice. It definitely added to the dimension of his mat or of his gear. And then the last thing was just to say Zayne is so freakishly tall. I'm pretty sure he only takes 2 strides to clear the ring entirely when he's at full speed running those ropes. He gets so fast. It's utterly insane. This match was fun. I actually didn't mind this House of Torture match.
Yeah, it was much torture. It's not my best House of Torture match on the best House of Torture match comes from the next night, but this was actually I didn't dislike a House of Torture. I wasn't like, throughout, like just like, this was actually a quite enjoyable match. But moving on to what I found a very enjoyable match on this night, and that was my pick. I am picking the heavyweight tag match on this show. Mel has picked a junior heavyweight tag match on this show. We're trying to cover both bases as there is 10 matches. We didn't want to do 2 each. It was just a little too much. I picked Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis, Aussie Open, versus Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki of Suzuki Gun. I love both these teams. I'm a big fan. I've been a fan of Lance Archer since I saw him early on in TNA, and he just evolved over the years. And then Suzuki, everybody loves their murder grandpa. Come on, and just,
angry grandpa.
Watching them do everything in this match, just watching the cohesion and the side, like in Archer being so big and powerful, that Mark Davis is usually the big and powerful guy in a match, and the fact that he was outsized was just a compelling thing to watch Mark Davis deal with, how he was dealing with being a smaller man, which is not normal for him. And like Fletcher, I think, is slightly taller than Davis, but Davis just has that build. And even Fletcher, who is quite tall himself, Archer still stands over him. And it's just impressive how big and just the athleticism this man has. It's absolutely phenomenal. But the one thing I have to pick with Lance Archer, I'm like, every match his boot comes undone. I think it's a gimmick. I don't think it's actually done up properly, but
yes,
I remember Chris Charlton pointing it out on one of the shows.
Yeah, he's done it since the beginning of the last G1.
Yeah, Suzuki pulling Fletcher into the ropes, gets the rope hanging triangle. Absolutely love it. And then pulls him out to the outside, running him into the barricade and putting him in a Kimura on the floor while Archer's just beating ragdolling the crap out of Mark Davis on the other side. I was just like, holy crap. And then it's just they kind of did an Abe-san spot, but they didn't hurt Abe-san, where where Archer was literally choking Fletcher in front of Abe-san and then literally smashed his face into Abe-san's table, like over the barricade, smashing his face. Again, I love the use of Abe-san, but not hurting him. I love that. But yeah, and like just some great stuff. Again, Mark Davis chopping Archer and then catching with an enziguri and a sliding elbow in the corner. Like just, again, beautiful sequences from all these guys. And the ability that he could put Archer down was that kind of overcoming there and getting the big man down, I think was a big spot there. Aussie Open actually tried Coriolis on Archer, but Archer ended up stopping it and just slamming picking up and slamming Davis. And then hits his like beautiful PK and splash on Fletcher for it too. Again, it's just the back and forth of these teams I absolutely love. Fletcher getting a brainbuster on Suzuki. Like, you don't see Suzuki taking moves like that very much because most people don't get a chance to lift him. Fletcher actually lifted Suzuki because Suzuki's not a guy who lets people lift him. Like, and again, it's just you don't see it much. And he gets up and gets brainbusted. Actually, I was very surprised. Aussie Open went for Coriolis again, but Suzuki got the rear naked choke on Mark Davis. And then the gotch goes for the gotch, but Fletcher actually pushed Archer into Suzuki and hit the off the shoulder kick to the face on Archer with Mark Davis and Fletcher doing that. And then Aussie Open hits a lariat, the lariat on Suzuki. Then they get the sandwich lariats, and then they hit Coriolis on Suzuki to pick up the win. Again, big win for them beating and pinning Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, I don't have very much to add to this except for with Minoru Suzuki, you know, he always loves that over the top rope armbar that he does. With Fletcher, he actually yanked on him so forcefully. He almost nearly pulled Fletcher over the top rope with him when he dropped down for that armbar. That just
he did end up pulling him. He did end up pulling him over, getting him to the outside.
Not like fully over, but like he got up to the top and then came back in the ring.
And then when he let go, he pulled Fletcher out. That's when he pulled Fletcher out.
Yeah. But like I'm saying, getting into it initially.
Fletcher
into it so forcefully.
Yeah.
And he yanked on it. I thought he was going to judo throw him over the top of the rope. But that was all I wanted to add to that one.
Yeah, again, absolutely phenomenal match. And we're going to move on to our next match evening, and it's Will's big pick for the night.
Yay!
Oh, sorry. I've been doing the intros. Wild Hips, Clark Connors, and Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Chris Bay and Ace Austin from the Bullet Club. Mel, take her away.
Okay, find the match. There it is. Okay. This match was fun. Again, Clark Connors and Taguchi bringing out their beer, offering it to the Bullet Club after they wiped their fannies with it. That seems fairly appropriate. The ring around the Rosie with the beer spot was really, really cute, where they were just kind of bouncing around.
I think there was like a light couple spills, but they kept the beers in their hands the whole time and kept them from spilling. Yeah,
they did do very, very well with that. I'm not going to say more on that. I just wrote, don't say more, demand to watch. You just got to see it to believe it.
The fact that they didn't spill their beers during the butt whips is awesome.
But go ahead and watch it. Ace Austin, very, very unique character. I've really enjoyed him. I've seen him a bit on Impact before he joined the Bullet Club. Since joining the Bullet Club, I definitely feel that his stock has suddenly gone up, obviously, as most do when you join Bullet Club. I really, really like the uniqueness of the card. Where he hides the card in his little wrist pad and pulls it out. Is it slimy? Yes. Is it unique and something no one else does? Also, yes. Austin too sweeting Taguchi's butt was, I think, the most ridiculous part of this match because it brought me back to Thumb Bum, and no one wants Thumb Bum. No one.
I thought he put his thumb in his butt. That's what I thought he did.
He did not. He too sweeted him, but
I didn't realize that he too sweeted into his butt. But yeah.
So what we're saying, everyone, is that Ace Austin too sweeted Taguchi's butthole. Not even just his butt, his butthole. And Taguchi decided nom nom. His butt decided nom nom, and he ate Ace Austin's fingers. Yucky. Again, it was a ridiculous spot, but you know what, my dude, that's what happens when you stick your fingers up some dude's butt. Don't be surprised if you get stuck there. But again, it was an absolutely hilarious and funny spot within the match. And Clark Connors actually hit a really super crazy, super stiff looking spear on Austin while he was caught in Taguchi's ass. What a sentence that was. Japers Murphy. But Bay and Austin working very, very well together to pin Taguchi at the end of this match. One thing I wanted to note afterwards, did you see the interaction that was kind of happening in the background as Bullet Club was walking up the exit ramp between Chris Bay and Nakashima?
No, I did not.
Oh, if you go back and watch it, when Chris Bay was actually leaving the ringside area, we know how freakishly tall Nakashima is. He is arguably the tallest and largest young lion that they have, next to probably Lube right now, actually.
Lube is.
But the hair probably helps with the height difference.
Yeah.
I digress. Bay walked by him, and he head patted him. And the look that Nakashima shot him when he walked past him after doing that, I was like, my little dude, you better watch out. If Nakashima gets a hold of you in an undercard match, he might give
Chris Bay's going to win
half of his own. Well, Andre, what do you feel about this match?
I had a great time. A couple spots I wanted to pick out. The Sandwich Bumaye from Wild Hips was absolutely phenomenal, where they run into it and you do the Bumaye, but like sandwich Bay's head was great. And the Ace Austin Fosbury flops to the floor where he just runs and just does that just right over the top. Just absolutely again, the athleticism from that guy is absolutely. I got to see him once in person. Again, absolutely phenomenal professional wrestler. Yeah.
What a fun one.
So we are moving on to the next match of the evening. It is General's Jewel, General's Jewel, Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale from the Bullet Club taking on Bebop Tag Team, Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I do have to call it the first part of this match. General's Jewel do the squat. They do the squat first, and that brings Bebop in to do the squat, and then General's Jewel just attacks them. It was absolutely just a great little spot to see. But this was actually a pretty quick match. This is one of those ones that really I was expecting a little more from. General's Jewel stops the Yano low blow. So Tanahashi low blowed them both, and Tanahashi rolled up Fale and got the win. A lot of Tanahashi's style has been rubbing off on Yano lately, but Yano's obviously rubbing off on Tanahashi. So yeah, very short match, and then Yano and Tana did do the squats in the ring after the match.
I did want to say Tana's hair in the Bebop tag team with the little pompadour at the beginning is absolutely dreamy. Like that man, he's the ace, let me tell you. The spot where he tried to lift Fale at the beginning, like my dude, I just why you haven't beaten him down enough? Come on, that's Fale. Fale's not going to give that to you at the beginning of the match. And the last thing I wanted to note was the Chase Owens. We've been mentioning we're very high on him right now, but he in this match especially had like a special little spring in his step. He seemed to be just really, really happy in this match. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing it. Yeah. That's all I got to say on that.
I thought a great match. I mean, we're getting a little long here, so I'm going to speed through these last couple of matches. I think really quickly. You got Lio Rush and Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. End of the match came when Kanemaru actually goes into whiskey. I think it was Leo, but he ends up whiskey spraying Douki, and Kanemaru gets knocked off the apron, and super kicks Douki. Leo hits him with that springboard, bottom row springboard stunner. Like just the spring back is awesome on that one. And Yo hits a plancha onto Kanemaru on the outside. Leo hits the final hour frog splash onto Douki, and they get the win. Again, Lio Rush and Yo have absolutely had a phenomenal tournament.
I have actually nothing to add to this one. This one, you pretty much got it all.
Perfect. Again, a really fun match. Like a really fun match. Then we went back to the heavyweight division. You have one of my favorite tags in the world, TMDK taking on Yujiro and Evil. Again, like as much as I say it, I enjoyed the other House of Torture match. This one, not so much. Again, and just a lot of the collective House of Torture crap in this one. You hear the crowd booing, and I don't even feel like it's booing because they're heels. I feel like it's like a very early 2000s X-Pac heat, like boo, you suck, go away kind of heat. I don't booing him in the sense of they're a bad guy. In the end, Sho distracts the referee. Togo chokes Nichols with the garrote and took him out. They get the high-low onto Yujiro and the backdrop neck breaker onto Evil, and then they hit Thunder Valley onto Yujiro, and they get the win. And then I literally wrote right after that, thank God.
Yeah. This match was pretty much just jump start by Togo and Sho. What are they doing here? 4-on-2. Evil Haste actually start the match. Marty takes a hell of a bump. The 4-on-2 assault continues. That's literally all the notes that I had for this match.
Yeah, again, it was a very House of Torture-esque match, and I think I probably would have died inside a little if TMDK had lost them. So,
I'm going to agree.
Moving on to our semi-main event of the evening is the team of Flying Tiger, Robbie Eagles, and Tiger Mask taking on the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Catch-22's Francesco, Akira, and TJP. Again, absolutely phenomenal match. All these guys just killed it in there. The Facebuster 3D, where it's like the flapjack, and Akira pulls him down with the Facebuster. Essentially, the Facebuster version of the 3D. I absolutely love that move from those guys. And the actual finish came when Catch-22 hit the sandwich knees to Tiger and got the 3 count there. Again, I'm loving the different ways that TJP and Akira do win their matches. So,
yeah. The only thing I said was this was a really fun match. I think I enjoyed it so much I didn't even take notes.
There's some of them like this one. I have a good bit of notes, but it's not as many as I thought I did because I was so enthralled with the match. Like it was so good.
Exactly same.
Yeah, and so we're going to move on to our main event of the evening, and that is Bishiman, and it is Yoshi-Hashi and Hiroki Goto taking on Sanada and Tetsuya Naito. Again, absolutely phenomenal. Both these teams, I think, both have that ability not to have to communicate with the other and know exactly what they're doing. and it's just all the great stuff from both these teams. Again, this is one I took a bunch of notes on. I think I was getting a little tired at this point, but again, it was still really quite a good match. This is at the end of Sunday, where I've watched so much wrestling over the last few days. I think I was a little bit tired at this point, but yeah. Go at the end, Goto gets the buzzsaw kick, goes for the Ushigoroshi, but Sanada flips out of it and gets the O'Connor roll. But Bishamon end up getting the super kick Ushigoroshi combo after Goto kicked out of the O'Connor roll. They got the it's the super kick and then the Ushigoroshi, and then they hit Shoto on Sanada to get the win. Again, a big win for the last year's winners, beating Sanada and Naito, who I think are a favorite in this tournament to win it. So yeah, again, anything on that one before we move on?
The only thing that I would add to that is that Naito seemed a little bit yeah, I said Nitro there for a second. I'm like, that's not who that was. Naito, very showy in this match. A little bit more of a performer in this one than I would have expected. But I feel like he does that a lot when he faces these two, because I think he knows it brings something out of them, which adds to the match. Other than that, you got her covered, my friend.
And I'm going to give a quick point update after the November 27th show. Super Junior Tag League, again, still undefeated on top, 8 points. Chris Bay and Ace Austin from the Bullet Club. Then at 6 points, you have Teton and Bushi, Francesco, Akira and TJP, Lindaman and Alex Zayne, and Leo Rush and Yo. At 4 points, you have Flying Tigers, Robbie Eagles, and Tiger Mask. At 2 points, Kevin Knight and Kushida, and Clark Connors and Ryusuke Taguchi. And at no points is Dick Togo and Show. And sadly, at no points, Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I'm okay with Dick Togo and Show not having any points, but Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru need at least 2 points. Come on. Come on. Well, they haven't faced Togo and Show yet. That's why.
And they're there.
And World Tag League update. Aussie Open still undefeated on top, 6 points. Lance Archer and Minoru Suzuki with 4. Again, and also with 4 is Sanada and Naito. TMDK, Shane Hayes, and Mikey Nichols. Bishamon has 4, and so does Aaron Henare and the Great Okan. Again, wow, big group tied at number 2. Then at 2 points, you have General's Jewel, Chase Owens and Fale, and Team Bebop, Toriano and Hiroshi Tanahashi. And at 0 points, you have Gabriel Kelly and Alex Coughlin, which I think is a shame. But again, they haven't faced Yujiro and Evil yet, so they haven't had a chance to fight them yet. And then you have Yujiro and Evil at 0 points also. So yeah. And we're going to move on to the final night. We're going to talk about that. It's Tuesday as we record this, so this is the last show we had watched that came out yesterday. Again, we've been watching a lot of these shows with Japanese commentary, so again, I've really liked that, actually.
First match of the evening was on this one.
Yeah, so the first match of this evening was Wild Hips, Clark Connors, and Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Kevin Knight and Kushida. Again, the Kevin Knight, I was saying this to you on the Stardom show. You're going to turn yourself around with Kevin Knight on this show, because he busted out his old gear. He's got the orange pants on. He kind of gave himself a new look tonight, like evolving out of that LA Dojo Young Lion look, and I absolutely thought it was phenomenal. I really like seeing him bust out his old Jet gear. It was because he was known as Jet for a while, and he wore this style of gear. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was very nice to see him look different, but still performing like the awesome performer he is. Again, everything from this team was absolutely from both these teams were absolutely phenomenal. End of the match came. Connors goes up to the top, and Knight literally hops to the top, like just straight up, like Shelton Benjamin hop to the top, and goes to the top rope suplex, and McConnor pushes him off. And then as Knight's running back and he starts to jump, that's when Connors comes off, hits a flying spear to Knight in the middle of the air, and then he had a blue thunder bomb and got the win. So Clark Connors and Ryusuke Taguchi picking up 2 points here. Anything you got on this one?
There was a point where Taguchi got thrown into the corner and he got dropped like on his butt. He's waiting in the corner, and Connors got Irish whipped towards him. I believe it was Kushida who tripped him and sent Connors' face to the coach's mini coach.
Yeah,
that was funny.
That was pretty good.
That was a funny spot for me. Also, I don't know what the move is called. It's just pretty much, I just call it where you just bounce off the ropes and run into somebody, because that's essentially what you're doing.
A shoulder block.
Just a shoulder block? Okay. Well, the shoulder block that Clark Connors did to Knight, where he just caught him so good. Again, Knight is like a freaking jumping bean. He sprung out of there, almost ended up outside of the ring from that shoulder tackle.
Oh, sorry, that's the pound. That's the pound. Monty Brown used to use it back in the day. It's the pounce where it's like just run in and tackle kind of deal.
Like
it was known as the pounce.
Yeah, that was crazy. Other than that, I got nothing else.
Yeah, again, and one other spot I really want to point out from the Knights of Time, as I like to call them, the merge multiple arm ringer spot where they just arm ring and then they trade and they arm ringer. And I guess it's such a simple spot. But I absolutely love it. It's just a fun spot just to watch the opponent just go over and over again. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I love it so much.
100%.
So we're gonna move on to the next match of the evening, and this is actually one of my this is my favorite House of Torture match so far on this entirety of both these tag tournaments. And
I see.
But I think a lot of it was who they're facing in that Francesco, Akira, and TJP are that good. They can get a phenomenal match out of this team,
100%.
even with the cheating. Excuse me for just a second. Sorry, I had to burp there, but I apologize. I just didn't want to do it on mic. But yeah, I thought great match from both these teams. Excuse me for 1 second again.
I think my favorite spot of this was when the United Empire had to make a save on Gideon at the beginning there.
Yeah, and that was actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Later.
Yeah, it's just funny that they had to save him, but he's just the dope in distress is what he is. The dope in distress instead of a damsel in distress. It's the dope in distress. But yeah. End of the match.
He fared better in being just randomly attacked than he did in any match that he's wrestled so far in New Japan.
Very true. But end of the match came. You have Catch-22 hitting the sandwich knees to the head of Togo, and they get the win with TJP pinning Togo after the sandwich knees. Again, I really like the fact that we haven't seen a successful leaning tower yet. Again, I love that move, but I like this I like seeing TJP and Akira getting all these wins in other ways.
And just think about how much you especially are going to pop when you finally see it.
Oh God, yes. Oh God. Yes. So we are going to move on to the next match of the evening, and it's my pick. It is Flying Tigers, Robbie Eagle and Tiger Mask taking on Lindaman and Alex Zayne. I really liked the match before this, and I was considering picking it, but then I was just like, it's that still having that House of Torture cheating in there, just took that notch out and then put this one over for me, especially after watching it right after. Like, dude, the quick start from Zayne and Eagles was absolutely great because these guys were just moving in there, and then the Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker by Tiger Mask to Lindaman. It's just the fluidity and just him bringing him up and then just bringing him down onto the knee. I absolutely love it. Just the smoothness and how good it looks. I hate that I don't know this move, but it's when Zayne has a guy in the sidewalk slam, and then he does the front flip over and he smashes their face, and they flip over and smash their face. I can't remember what that's called. I need to figure it out. But I
absolutely menu.
Yeah, it's probably like the Gordita Surprise or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the Baja. I know he has a move called the Baja Blast. I'm just not sure if that was it, but I absolutely love that move. I've never seen I think the closest thing I've seen like that is the SOS, but the SOS is a very different move in that sense. It's just cool to see the flip and the face smash of that move. Zayne ends up putting Robbie on the top and goes for the Rana, but's pushed off. And then catches him and stops the top rope head. Robbie comes off for the top rope head, so he catches him, and he goes for kind of like a power bomb almost. But he has him up, and then he just kind of just goes meh and just throws Robbie off, and Robbie just landing on his ass again. And then Robbie coming right back with that I guess is the acai DDT or the standing sliced bread. Again just how they flowed together in there was so good. Just the double buzzsaw kicks from Flying Tiger to Zayne to get it too. Just those kicks are just But in the end, the sauce hearts, the judo flip throw by Lindaman, and then him hitting the suicide dive to Robbie on the outside, and Zayne coming off the top with that cinnamon twist to Tiger Mask and getting the win. I absolutely love that. Those two together with that judo flip and that cinnamon twist. They work so well together. Absolutely.
I think the only thing I want to add to this was the fun spot at the beginning where Tiger Mask and Lindaman had that little tan off. The ref and the fans vote on who is more tan.
And he picked Tiger.
He picked Tiger, but it was very obvious that Lindaman was quite a shade darker.
Well, maybe you didn't see. Maybe he had some white lines on him. You never know. The ref might have seen that, and maybe Tiger was like perfectly tanned everywhere. You never know.
I don't know. I think Lindaman is in a constant state of chocolate.
Yeah. We are going to move on to the next match of the evening, and it's Mel's pick. It's Let's Go Nobo's Titan and Bushi taking on Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru from Suzuki Gun.
What a freaking awesome match this was. You can tell that there was I had the Japanese commentary still at this point only. You could tell the tension between Titan and Douki, very apparent from I'm going to assume Douki's time in Mexico.
I'm going to guess so.
I really found Titan super impressive in this match. His dives flawless, his strikes always on the money, his selling was incredible, his gear for this one was incredible. Though I will always say I love me a good Douki Choki. That's probably not something I should probably say a lot. But Douki getting the Douki Choki. It's the Douki Choki, Andre. The Douki Choki on Titan, but Bushi was thinking real good because I believe Kanemaru also put him in a figure 4 at that point. Bushi thinking, pushing the referee onto Douki and Titan, breaking that Douki Choki up. I absolutely love Douki's Daybreaker, which is that vaulting DDT he does off from the outside.
Is that what it's called? The Daybreaker. I'm writing that down right now.
Daybreaker. I remembered it because that was a really good vampire movie. There's
no such thing as a good vampire movie. Come on.
You have to get past Twilight, Andre.
I'm talking long before Twilight. Come on.
Titan was able to kick out of that Daybreaker, which is incredible because that is usually one of Douki's pretty dominant moves that gets him a win. Bushi's Tope Suicida, always on the money. Okay. He knows how to do that thing perfectly. I wrote down Titan tagging the heck out of Douki, doing his little strike kick combo thing there. Absolutely loved it. In the end, Titan pinning Douki to get Los Ingobernables de Japón 2 more points. So happy with this match. Andre, what do you think?
Again, I had a great time with this. Just some of the crazy stuff. Titan, he matrix back and then comes back up and just hops in, hits an enziguri. Just that man's flow is absolutely phenomenal. So good. And just the backstabber by Bushi to Douki, and then the sunset flip, and then a Titan springboard splash. Mwah! I so good. It's so just so good. But yeah, again, absolutely phenomenal match. Absolutely phenomenal. And we move on to the main event of the, I guess, 5th night of Super Juniors. Yeah, and the last night we're talking about Leo Rush and Yo from Chaos taking on Chris Bay and Ace Austin from the Bullet Club. Again, absolutely wonderful main event. These guys, just some of the great stuff they do. The twisting Vader bomb by Yo. I love that guy. The Russian leg sweep into the moonsault and leg drop. I just, and it's not even just this proper Russian leg sweep. It's literally Bay kicking the leg out of the opponent for while Ace is doing the Russian leg sweep, or was it? I can't remember. It was the other way around. But just that extra kick of the leg, I just love that. I love that little play there. That it's yeah. But yeah, and Leo uses Bay to roll into a stunner onto Ace Austin. I was like, oh, that was just beautifully done. Just the flow that both these teams had together. But in the end, Yo hits a super kick. Leo hits his springboard stunner, and then Yo hits the suplex Ushigoroshi, or the kneecap brainbuster, as I like to call it. And that was onto Ace Austin, and Yo hits onto Chris Bay. Yo then hits a plancha to the outside onto Ace Austin, take him out, and Leo Rush hitting the final hour frog splash to get the win, and finally handing the Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, their first loss of this tournament and their fifth match. Only their first loss. So again, wonderful match. You got anything to say on this one?
The only thing that I wanted to comment on this one was the beginning spot between Leo and Chris Bay, when they were kind of getting in each other's faces and they started actually kind of doing some things. I completely forgot that in that exchange that they had done the double strike on each other on the neck. So when they were actually like flexing and doing the bad stuff and getting in each other's faces, and then Bay starts selling his neck, I was like, look what you did. You gave yourself an aneurysm from flexing so much. Why?
No, from that double slap.
But then I remembered the strike to the ear. So I'm like, ooh, I hope you didn't blow your eardrum or something there, because they both walloped each other pretty good. Other than that, that's all I got to add for this one.
Yeah, again, great way to cap off a great weekend of professional wrestling, I thought. And we haven't even yet seen any of the stardom from this weekend. I think there drops today and tomorrow, the two shows from this weekend. So so get ready for that next week, along with more from the New Japan stuff next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to be coming back again with 3 days of shows, because there's a lot of wrestling to catch up with over this next week or two, because Stardom ends up, I think, will end on the December 3rd, 4th, or the second weekend of December they end, and then actually the first weekend of December they end, and then you have the New Japan going for another week and a half or so. But like I'm very happy with all the professional wrestling we have to watch right now. So
100%.
But I'm going to give
one dinner date at some point. Get us some tacos to enjoy these wrestling matches too.
Yeah, I want to give a quick update on the points at Super Juniors before we go. Tied at 8 points, you have Chris Bay and Ace Austin, Teton and Bushi, Catch 22's Francesco, Akira, and TJP, Lindaman and Alex Zayne, and Leo Rush and Yo. Again, great top 5. Again, I have a feeling that's the top 5, and I think the winner is coming from one of those teams. Then you have at 4 points, you have Flying Tigers, Robbie Eagles, and Tiger Mask. Also at 4 points, I apologize, Wild Hips, Clark Connor, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Then you have at 2 points, Kevin Knight and Kushida, and at 0 points, Dick Togo and Sho. Yeah,
they can stay down there.
I want to see Douki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru get at least 2 points in this thing.
Yeah, no, Sho and Togo, they can stay down there.
Hopefully stay zero. But again, absolutely phenomenal weekend of professional wrestling. We are going to have so much more coming for you in the next over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We have a lot of professional wrestling to talk about. Stardom, New Japan. We are probably going to be coming back towards the end of the year with our Chop Talk show, going over from live here in Edmonton. We're going to get to see Josh Alexander and Masha Slamovich in person at the Top Talent Pro Wrestling show on December 22nd at Midway. You can get your tickets at toptalentwrestling.com or Top Wrestling Academy.
They do have an Everbright thing. I can leave the link in the description box down below.
And before we go, I want to thank our sponsor, Rogue Energy. Again, scan the QR code down in the bottom right corner, or go to rogueenergy.com. Use the code OLEPODS for 10% off your order. I want to thank our friends at our local establishments for working with us and helping us out with everything we do. You can find us streaming on there every once in a blue moon. I think our next stream is going to be until the night/morning of Wrestle Kingdom. We will be doing a live stream for that one, live from Mel's house again, which a very special guest, but the local Edmonton wrestling scene. Sorry, 2 special guests actually. I think we already know one of them because she was there.
Yes, the wonderful, beautiful Yvonne is going to be joining us again for Wrestle Kingdom, and with any luck, she will be wearing a beautiful traditional kimono for us in the spirit of Wrestle Kingdom.
And we are going to have a very
special guest.
Is it going to be? We're gonna hold that off for a little bit, but I said he. I guess it is a he. I'll say that. From the local professional wrestling scene and international wrestling scene too, because I know he's wrestles out of the country too. So you're gonna have to wait. We'll give you that update a little closer to Wrestle Kingdom, but I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. Also want to thank our friends at. Oh, and you can catch our local establishment on Twitch at Our Local Establishment or on Instagram at OLE Podcast. And I want to thank our good friend Mike the Ref for simulcasting everything we do. You might be watching us on his channel. If you are, please go check out our channel on YouTube too, but please keep supporting Mike. If not, go check out Backbreaker Video on YouTube. You can also check Mike out on Twitch multiple days of the week, especially every Wednesday when he's watching the AEW Dynamite show. On twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. And again, I think I don't know if his thing will still be going, but he was doing a fundraiser for Jack.org. If you want to see him dance in a panda suit, $1,500 we're already at $1,000. Give him $1,500, we can watch him dance in a panda suit.
I want to see a dancing panda. Let's get to it, you guys. And Andre, if we're wanting to follow you on social media, where are we going to find you?
At That Canada Guy on Twitter, at That Canada Dude on Instagram, and at That Canada Guy on pretty much any of the new social medias that are popping up. I'm just literally signing up just to grab that name. So if I ever need to switch over to Mastodon or any of these other ones, because Twitter explodes, I at least will have the username I want. Unlike on
Let's
Instagram.
Hope that there's no explosions. And if you're wanting to follow their Melball here, you can follow me on Twitter at Collins Melball, or you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Melball Collins. And don't forget to give the Andre and Melball Wrestling Talk Facebook page a follow. I'm always active on there, as is Andre, posting all kinds of articles to chit-chat about, as well as updating you guys on all of our specials, shorts, full features, and stuff going on within our world of professional wrestling. So, Andre, if you don't have anything left to add to this incredible review, I am your Melball. That is your Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.